up, guys? We have done it. We have finally completed our ultimate RGB build. This build has been in the works for a while, and we figured 2017 is the year of RGB, so let's do this crazy maxed out RGB build, but not only to have RGBs in there, but to have some of the best hardware available as well, as this is going to be our new gaming machine as well as a video editing machine, and we have a ton of awesome hardware in there. So we're going to go over all the different parts and how we put everything together. So let's start out with the shell of our build, what we're going to be building our system around, and that is the Inwin 805 Infinity. Now there's so many tempered glass cases out there, but this one stands alone because of the infinity mirror on the front. It is just amazing, and we figured it's super unique, so we had to use it in this build. We knew we were going to go high-end desktop with this build, so the obvious choice was the Aorus X299 Gaming 9. For one, it has the most RGB LEDs out of any X299 board out there, and it has all of the high-end features that we were looking for in an X299 board. As I mentioned, I'm going to be using the system for gaming as well as video editing, so I felt the best fit when it came to the processor was the Intel Core i7 7820X, which is an 8-core 12-thread part. So I have the advantage of that high core count, but I also have really great single-threaded performance, which will really show in games. I also feel that this processor really fits in that sweet spot when it comes to price to performance in the Core X series. Graphics card selection was really a no-brainer when it came to this build. We knew we wanted a GTX 1080 Ti. It is the single most powerful graphics card under $1,000, and we figured since we have an Aorus motherboard, we should get an Aorus graphics card. So we have their GTX 1080 Ti Extreme Edition 11G. Not only does this card look great and is loaded with RGB LEDs, but it's factory overclocked and it has awesome performance. Memory was also a no-brainer when it came to this build. Our favorite RGB memory is G.SKILL's Trident Z RGB. It just looks the best, it has the best features, and there's just not much else we can say about it. It is just awesome memory. So we have a quad-channel 32GB kit running at DDR4 3000 speeds. Rounding out our main hardware, we have our power supply, which is the Corsair RM1000X, which is a 1000 watt 80 plus gold certified power supply, and we went with 1000 watts because in case we wanted to add something to this, a second graphics card or something like that, we have everything covered. Also, Corsair has a 10-year warranty on this, so we know it's going to be reliable and last us a long time. When it came to storage, we thought, what hard drive has RGB LEDs on it? And the one that came to mind is the Zotac 10-year anniversary Sonics drive, and we have the 480 gig version and has a Zotac logo on the back that lights up with RGB lighting, and this is an NVMe drive, so we're gonna have super fast speeds. Backing that up, we have two Patriot Hellfire PCI Express M.2 drives, and these are also NVMe drives, so we have very fast speeds. Now these are Phison E7 base, and those drives are known to get really hot, so we actually have these installed on the motherboard, and the motherboard actually has M.2 coolers built in. Our last two drives in the system are two Crucial MX300s. These are the 1050 gigabyte versions, and they have read and write speeds of 530 megabytes a second and 510 megabytes a second respectively. While not as fast as our NVMe drives, these are still better than a typical hard drive. Moving on to cooling off our CPU is NZXT's Kraken X62. That is their 280mm all-in-one liquid cooling solution, and of course we picked this because the pump block actually has that awesome infinity mirror on it. We've gone ahead and swapped out all of the fans in our system with NZXT's Air RGB fans. So of course we wanted the RGB lighting there, so we've swapped out the two fans on the radiator, we've added two fans to the bottom of our case, and we've swapped out the rear fan. These fans have an RGB ring that goes around the frame, and they're actually pretty bright. We have some really nice underglow going on under the bottom fans. This build would not be complete without some RGB LED strips, and we've gone with NZXT's Hue Plus. These are fully programmable, which means you can do some really cool effects, and they look really good, and they're super easy to install. I've gone ahead and installed these around the frame of my case, and I think it's going to give a really cool effect. The RGB LED strips, as well as the Air RGB fans, need to be connected to NZXT's Hue Plus controller. And we actually have two of them in this system. So one is right at the top of our case, kind of hidden away, and the second one is on the back side of the case towards the bottom. We actually have it attached to the back of our power supply. The case did come with its own RGB strip, so what I've done is I've installed it on the back side of the motherboard tray just to give some light back there. It's not programmable like the Hue Plus is, but it's just going to give us that more light, and you know, when we have this up against the wall, it's going to give us that backglow that we want. One product that we couldn't do this build without is NZXT's internal USB hub. It gives you 3 extra internal USB headers, so when we're connecting all of the Hue Plus controllers, our Kraken, and other devices, we're gonna run out of internal USB connectors on our motherboard. So this little device that's like 20 bucks just makes it all possible. So if you're doing a build, we're gonna have a lot of internal connectors. This is something that you're gonna need to pick up. So now that we've showed you everything that's inside our build, it is montage time. Cue the epic music and let's go. We could not be happier with the way this build turned out. Not only with our hardware choices, but just how awesome the system looks as well. Now, if you have any suggestions on things we can do to upgrade or add to this build, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below, and we'll have a full list of all of the hardware that we use. So if you're looking at something in this build, you know where you can go ahead and pick it up. And if you did enjoy this video, we would appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that like button. And if you enjoy our tech content, go ahead and subscribe. So that brings us to the end here. We're so happy and glad we were able to do this build. It's been so much fun. So until next time, catch you guys later.